I'm gonna start my setup for treatment tonight. So the first thing I do is I wrap my arm with my lidocaine cream. So probably concern number one with doing home hemo is I won't be able to stick myself. And I understand. It's not ideal. It's scary. But it can be done with proper training and just your overall willingness to succeed. It's honestly not that big of a deal. So, I kind of swear by the lidocaine cream. It works really, really well. I do not feel the needle, as you'll see later on. So, got the cream on my arm. I have my lovely daughter, Emma. She's 12 to help me wrap it. Push hard. Around we go. Bring it around. All right. Thanks, babe. So you can stay, honey. So I have been on dialysis since Emma was 8 years old. The first year I did it when I was in center. It wasn't until about a year, no, just shy of a year of being on dialysis that I started doing home. And that was simply because I couldn't get a spot to train quick enough at my clinic. So you have any comments for the people on like how mom does the machine, like, you know, how it's affected your life, how, like, you can share your thoughts.
It's hard at sometimes because I kind of want to go do something like for instance, we have to go to a Girl Scout meeting and mom has to do the machine, so like I'll miss important things, and then I'll go to school, and like it turns out we have like a Girl Scout project we're supposed to be doing, and my friends in the troop are just like, oh, you weren't there at the meeting last night. Basically, we have like a project, and I'm like, okay, but yeah. But
but at the same time, tell people how we do stuff with our life still.
Right, but how is it different, mommy being at home doing it instead of mommy going to a clinic?
If she had to go to a clinic, it would make our life topsy-turvy.
We wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
Do we still go on trips?
Yeah, we still go on trips. Like, we went to Great Wolf Lodge like a year or two ago or something. And
yeah, we went to Great Wolf Lodge twice in a year.
We brought the machine with him, and Dad, thank you.
Osmo. We call it Osmo.
Yeah. And Dad hauled the machine up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. And the supplies.
Yep.
Gonna keep going on with my setup. So I have my few things that I need. This, if you can pan in here, is our supply closet. I have cartridges up here. And then just all of the disposable stuff. Some of the stuff that's mixed in here is for my insulin pump. But most of this is dialysis related. We have saline and sacks on the bottom and shoes. And yeah, I mean, if I'll step out so you can get a better view, but our closet's pretty much just like a walk-in closet. It's not super big, but it does what we need to with the storage unit here.
We have a dedicated shelf for all the supplies. And we also store them in the garage.
And then if you come out in my bedroom, you'll see, you want to give them like a rundown of our little cart.
We have our supply cart that we keep everything on to go to during treatment. We have our gauze, 2x2s, 4x4s, hand sanitizers. We have different drawers where we keep, there's like test strips for chloramines. We have needles and alcohol wipes and band-aids. You know, everything that she needs at various times during treatment. We have syringes in here sometimes. Heparin. Vinegar. All that kind of stuff, depending.
Stuff that's really too small to have a place on the shelf.
Of course, our shoes
without
are in the
getting
way.
knocked over.
And then you know, some big other things that we use, like replacement drain lines and other big syringes for flushing things, and depending on what you're doing, maintenance on the machine. So,
All right, stop.
Action.
So now that I gathered all my stuff, I will walk y'all through loading and priming a cartridge. So it comes in this bag that doubles as a nice little trash can. So and I guess just pan over here. You'll see there's tapes and plastic that secure the lines. So another concern is, well, I don't know how to feed the lines through the machine, and I don't want to mess anything up. Next Stage have done a really good job of making it dumb easy, so to speak. Everything comes preloaded on this little cassette, and you just pop it into the cycler and push go. So right now I'm removing my tapes, securing some of the lines because I've gone to snap the air out of the lines before, and I've dropped one on the floor, and that made me have to restart. As I mentioned before, it's about 7:30, so wasting time is not an option.
This is a bag of saline.
Yep. Sometimes you get different ones. Some are better than others. In my experience, you don't get a choice. So, time to put it in. You hang that over here. I've already turned my machine on, and I have these two orange looking bars. That means that it's ready to receive the cartridge. Again, I said they make it really easy. They put a little smiley face on it right here so that you know the correct way to load it into the machine. This is a look at the back of it. And like I said, just everything's all connected, put together. You don't have much that you're having to mess with. So put it in. There are a few spots like this one right here where you pop it in.
You feed the line like into a little holder.
And then there's two more that are a bit harder to see down here. And then you close it and push the bar down to lock it. Then
you want to straighten out your lines.
Yep, because it's really hard to remove the air if your lines are not straight. This one actually did a really good job. They're not tangled. So then you grab your saline and spike it, and I just gently twist it back and forth. You want to be able to see the tip of the priming spike inside of the bag like so. That's an indicator that you've done it the right way. Then I leave those on the side. Then right here we have the access pressure pod. This is what will monitor your arterial pressure during treatment, and it gets connected into a little side piece right here, which is going to be hard to see, but when I move away,
connect it, goes in the little port that looks like that.
Yep. So now that it's loaded, we're all good to go. There is a button with a cup underneath the water. This is add fluid. We push that, and it's going to pull saline from the bag through the tubes. It'll go through a series of checks just to ensure that there's no residual air in the lines. And in about, it says 23, it's usually between 25 and 30 minutes. It'll be done and it'll start beeping. You'll probably see one of my kids come in here and push this button to make it quiet. So that is it for right now. Next is going to be checking chloramines and setting up my stick table. Cut. Next step is to check the chloramines on the machine. So chloramines are kind of like contaminants, or they want your dialysate to be of a certain quality, and I believe that this checks that for you. So I have a nice little shot glass. It's what it gets used for now. And you're gonna come down here and it says on my Pure Flow, check chloramines. So you push the green button and you want to disconnect this guy. And in about a minute and a half, it's gonna start to pump out water that I will fill the shot glass with, and we'll check the chloramines. So I just sit here like this for now. So all the while I'm doing this, again, I have my arm wrapped. So that's starting the numbing process. You saw one of my daughters, the other one is asleep because it was a long day at school today. They both still need to eat dinner, so I've got some macaroni and the cheese going. And I'll probably make them some classy hot dogs because it's a treatment night and we're being quick. But again, like, I've cooked spaghetti, like different dinners for the entire family. So I swish it around a little bit, dump it out, and then we're gonna fill it up again. All right, that's about all I need. So I just let it drain in the bag. Gonna put this in here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and dump. Then it needs to sit for about 30 seconds. So you fold it in half like this and let it sit for a second. That's the machine beeping to tell me that it's done dispensing and I need to hook it back up here. If for some reason you don't hook this back up and you just tell it be quiet, when you go to drain your sack at the end of treatment, it will drain all over your floor. We learned this the hard way before. So now it's wanting to know if it passed or failed. So I go here. They have on here yellow being good and black being don't use me. So I usually put it somewhere in between here, and mine is almost all the time right aligned with the 0. I don't think I've gotten a 0.1 in the last 2 years. So the water here must be real good. City water. So it passed. I'll throw this away, and I'm gonna push this 3 times until I have a solid green light right here. That means that the batch is in use and it is ready to go. If the light is blinking, I don't think it's pumping dialysate effectively. And when you go to start treatment like that, it'll give you a caution alarm and it can potentially stop the cycler, which is risky, especially if there's blood in it, because then you start running the risk of clotting. All right, so I pulled the machine a little bit closer to me. And this is how you ensure that there is no air in your lines, because it will stop your machine and will likely end your treatment if you can't clear it. It's a big old pain in the butt. So we start from the top of the bag on the arterial line and go snappity snap. And I'll set it to the side. Then we come over here to the dialyzer. Has these little plastic holders. Cap it and put it in the holster. Then we're gonna prime the tip right here. So you got it up here. You just let it leak a little. It's clean water. And then from the side of the machine right here where the venous line comes out, you're just gonna snap that. And then I hang it here because I want to keep them separate because I'm weird. And then you go back through it. And then on this one, you just gotta whack it a couple of times. You don't have to reprime it or anything like that. Because if there is air in it, it'll then get dislodged and you'll be snapping it here. All right, so that part is done, and then you can hit stop right now. Y'all saw my younger daughter come in here and she pushed the mute key whenever the prime was done. It is very important when the prime is done that you do not push stop. You push mute. If you push stop, you're gonna have to reprime your cartridge because you won't be able to effectively snap it and tap it. And it was hard to get that in the beginning. I think the first maybe month or two I did treatment, I said, don't push stop, don't push stop. So now you may stop it. And I'm going to make my line connections. So first start by clipping my venous line down here on one of the other lines. Every cartridge will come with a recirculator, or Mr. Peanut, as people like to call him. So I take this and I'm gonna go and connect it here. Then before I connect my arterial line, I have a saline tea right here that you use if you need to give yourself a bolus of saline mid-treatment for low blood pressure, or if you need to flush the machine to check for clotting. So I'll just loosen the cap here, same as I've done on other parts of the machine. Prime it, clip my red ones, and then connect them to the recirculator. So now I've got this in center, folks. This should look similar. I think whenever I used to sit down to my chair, they'd already have this like ready to go for me. So then I hang it over here on the dialyzer, and I'm gonna come back to that saline tea that we just primed. Make sure that I clip the green line, which is my dialysate line. So something I haven't touched on is that Next Stage have kind of color coded everything. So you see here, white clamp, they're going to go together. So I'll disconnect it here, take the cap off, and then connect it. Pro tip, make sure that both of the white clamps here are clipped. Otherwise, you're gonna give yourself a whole bag of saline throughout your treatment. So that's that one. I'll just leave it to hang right there. Then this is the chicken foot. It goes down to my pure flow. This is what the dialysate pumps through. So I prime these as well, because sometimes if you don't, you will get a caution alarm on the machine. And again, it just delays it. It's already 8:40. So ideally, I will treat tonight from 9 p.m. until about midnight. So again, I remove the cap here, and because these clips are green, the green one over here, can you see that one? Goes to it. Connect it, unclip down here. The ones right here on what's called the chicken foot, you do not clamp until you are done with treatment, because these are the same ones that I showed on the sack that do not open once you clip them. So it's clipped, you're done, you gotta use another one. I only use my sack for one treatment. Other people will use it for 2, possibly 3, depending on their prescription. So for me, if I accidentally clip it, I have 2 other ones I can use. But for other people, it may be a bit more of an issue. So the last line is the drain line. Nay, I call it the most important one. So this is just me untangling them because I like that. It gets hooked up down here. So again, you see the clips, same color, yellow waste, yellow waste. So this will drain through my pure flow into my plumbing system. So whenever it made the sack, I showed y'all how you push the button and it'll pump water So part of using the next stage machine is you're going to have it hooked into a water source somewhere. So Jason, if you want to go take them and show them how we've done it. My husband hooked ours up underneath our bathroom sink. So obviously this is my bedroom. We have a master bath off my side of the room. You can see on the floor, blue line is clean water, black line is drain water. And if you just want to go show them underneath the sink how we hooked it in and let them know, I mean, it's relatively easy.
So you make your blue line connections in the back of the pure flow over here, and the one coming off to the plumbing underneath our sink is right here. It's pretty simple. So then it's hard to see under here because it's all black and dark, but there's the blue line and the black line. The blue line is the water line. They give you a kit that makes it to where you can modify your plumbing and connect that onto a little valve that goes onto your water inlet right there. And then you have your black line. They give you a different kind of coupler that you couple right above your P-trap, to where you can make a hole in the pipe, but you can seal it. And then you run the black line, and then that feeds into the P-trap so you can drain the pure flow.
So while he was doing that, I started filling my syringes. I have 2 of them that I will use to flush my patient lines once I get on the machine, and then I keep 2 of them on the saline bag in case I need to do a temporary disconnect. But mainly these guys just hang out until the end of treatment, and I use them to flush my patient lines after I have returned my blood. So the last thing is programming your machine. So you want to pin around here. So this is the rate at which it will pump the dialysate. This is my blood flow rate, and this is just like starting treatment. The yellow one is my ultrafiltration. So some clinics will tell you you're allowed to only pull this, or you're not allowed to pull this. Mine kind of give me freedom, so I usually pull like 1.25 an hour. It might not work for everybody. I give up fluid really easily, and I can do this without having any kind of cramping or issues. So just another thing, as far as the interface here, you can push the toggle button here. It's going to show you that my prescription is 40 liters of dialysate. Right now it's programmed to pull 3 liters. I have yet to weigh myself and see if that's accurate. But if it's not, you can take it down there, and this number is not set in stone. If I'm on the machine and I start getting cramps, or I have like low blood pressure that the saline boluses aren't helping, I can reduce this. I can turn it off. I mean, that's the benefit of home hemo, is you have complete control over your machine and what you do. You are supposed to report, your end of treatment stuff to your care team. I use flow sheets, which look like this. It has spots where I can chart my blood pressure, how much dialysate I've processed, how much UF I've taken off, the pressure of my arterial, my venous, and my effluent. The effluent is the pressure of the waistline. Yeah, and I just scan this on my phone and send it to my nurse like once or twice a week. I send her my flow sheets. Next Stage does have an iPad app that is really convenient. You can get a Bluetooth blood pressure cuff, and it'll like link up to it so that it'll just record everything for you. I chose not to use that because it knocks my internet out, and that's how I stream stuff. So I would much rather watch The Office while I'm on the machine than have an iPad. My handwriting's pretty anyways. Anyways, I decided to try and get trained to be solo because I didn't want to have to rely on anybody. That's why I have the ladder method versus the buttonholes, because we developed buttonholes, but Jason would have to come and like place the needle for me, and then I could advance it. And I just decided I'd much rather just, I have the sharp, I can stick where I want, when I want, and not have to, you know, wait for someone. Because I mean, especially like our lives are busy. We have 2 kids. Sometimes I'll be in here doing this and he'll be out there packing lunches, making dinner, helping them with their homework. So I mean, it's in our life situation, it's just not feasible to have like 2 people on this at the same time. Now, it's kind of sweaty because I've been running around. My kids are eating dinner right now. Probably once I get on the machine, my husband's gonna grill us some stuff to eat for dinner.
They already ate dinner.
So yeah, now I'm going to set up my stick table and show y'all how to snap the air out of the lines. And basically at the end of this process, we'll have everything put in place to wash my arm and get on the machine. So so for the stick table, whenever I trained, they had like this really nice rolling cart that they would use for that. We went to Walmart and got a real nice TV tray, and it's worked pretty well for us. It travels well, so the times that I've gone and I've done this in a hotel, I've taken it with me, and yeah, it's easy. So I like to start by using some tape to secure the blue pad, or chuck as they call them, because I'll stick my tape that I tape my arm with to this. So the first thing I get is my gloves, lay those out, and then needles. So you want to come in closer so that I can show my needles. So I use a 15 gauge needle. And mine are kind of special, so I'll take the cap off carefully. So you can see the needle here. And then a lot of times in center, if your pressures are off, they ask you to flip the needle. So mine, you can just hold the butterfly here. Can you get a good view of it? All right, so you can hold the butterfly here and you can just twist the tubing, and that actually will move the needle for you, so you don't have to worry about taping and retaping and messing up your other access point because you're trying to flip one needle. So I thought that was really cool. So then the last tape that I make is going to be the one that's going to go directly over the needle right after I stick it in my arm. Of the setup process, like the stick table setup, it's probably the part that takes the longest. It's kind of annoying. Sometimes I'll do it out of order and I do this part first and then I feel ahead of the game. But anyways, let's see if you can get a zoom in on this so that they can see how I layered them. Can you get a good view of that? So top here is the first one I secure with. The tiny one right here is going to be the chevron, and then on the bottom I have the Band-Aid one. The plastic tape is also pretty good at not sticking to the chuck. Comes off nice and easy. I put an extra piece of tape here when I taped it down just to keep it from like lifting or anything, getting caught. And this is my stick table. So next is the snap and tap of the machine. All right, so got my little dot here, lining it up. This one's being difficult just because it's like hard to push. Okay, so good example. You see how there's blood in the tube, but it's not moving? That's because I had it and it's not there anymore. So as I advance, you can see it start to move again. I will get my pillow. All right, so I'm gonna hit stop. And then I need the one for the arterial line. So I just grab it and then it's pretty easy to undo. Let that hang. And then this one's my arterial line. So you're gonna clip it. That way we don't have it raining blood. And then disconnect. See how I can hold both of them in this hand? And then you're just gonna hook the saline syringe up here. This is okay. You can drop this. It's clean. Nothing's gonna get on it. So then switch hands. I take this and I'm gonna hook it back up to the bag to start my rinse back. Okay, it's connected, so I'm gonna unclip on the top and then I'm gonna unclip down here. And then since I'm already in this position, I like to go ahead and grab my Venus one. That way it's just already in my hand. And then you're gonna push the button over here to start rinse back. And then you wait. When you say machine, give me my blood back, please. But also you can then take this one, tangled. Unclip right here, and then just do a basic flush. Clip it back, and then I'm like really weird about my lines being tangled, so I'll just untangle it, and then I wait. So this whole treatment probably, all right, it's like 1:40 and I got on at 11:15. So I mean, it's a good bit of time, but it's not that bad. My husband can pan. You see, we watched football.
Well, that's on commercial, so okay.
And he made a tray of football snacks, but I didn't want to eat them. So, and like a lot of couples just sit in their living room and they have football Sundays and stuff. It's one of my babies.
Hi, Alyssa.
I braided my hair.
You
Braided your own hair.
So what is Alyssa looking forward to doing when Mommy gets off the machine? You want to tell?
Granny's.
You're gonna go to your grandma's?
And then what are we gonna do at Granny's?
I go to the park.
And then have dinner with our family?
Yeah.
All right.
So,
All right.
I like to try and spend time whenever I go to my mom's house because I feel like it's difficult for her to understand my situation. So like,
Alyssa.
she's fine. She can sit by me.
Okay.
So she was calling this morning. She was like, well, what time are y'all going to be here? And Jason's like, it kind of just depends. Like when her arm clots and, you know, how she feels afterwards, if we're going to be able to go. And it's like, so doing it early in the morning is going to make it to where I can spend like evening time with my family. Plus, like I mentioned, it's Sunday. So ideally when we come home from her house, I'll start figuring out, okay, what are we going to eat this week? And, you know, maybe meal prep a couple of things so that on weeknights, whenever I want to come home and just get straight on the machine to get it done and over with, there's stuff that like Jason can heat up for us to eat. And then there's also like stuff for the kids to eat.
Like me and my sister.
Like you and your sister. Well, when are you going to start cooking?
Because we're on a special diet right now as adults
13.
who are
Yeah, so
trying to be in shape, and then the other one's trying to get a kidney, y'all.
Yeah, so I've done really good
Okay.
for like
Okay.
I've done really good for a month. 1 out of a million, but yeah, we've just been eating like high protein, low carb, lots of vegetables, not too many fats, stuff like that.
Going to the gym.
Yeah, so usually I've been trying on days that I don't do dialysis to make it to the gym. So for like several years, I just told myself, I was like, well, I have dialysis, I have a job, I have kids I have to take care of. Like don't tell me that. I was like, don't tell me that if it means enough to you, you'll find time to do it, because like you don't know my struggle. But sure enough, I mean, Emma's been really helpful.
Including me.
Alyssa's always helpful. This is my little nurse.
I
So
don't care if it's nighttime. I stay
yeah,
up all
Emma will
night.
keep an eye on her sister so that we can at least go to the gym for like an hour and a
I
half.
stay up all night.
No, you don't.
Well, I don't.
Alyssa, stop.
Unless
No. You're calling it all night, but that's not the truth.
You don't stay up all night.
I know I said, well, I don't unless like it's.
Hey, if I was to ask you, what is your favorite thing that we've taken the machine to go do? Out of all the things that we've gone to do.
You know how that elf one you were seeing before when we were at a hotel?
Yeah?
Yeah, I love that. It was funny.
Yeah. So we have Elf on a Shelf. Every Black Friday, the elves come. They bring special breakfast. So,
Yeah, they bring pancakes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yep. So we went to the Polar Express, but we had to take the machine with us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And we've taken it to Great Wolf Lodge.
yeah, so we loaded up the machine and we drove North Texas. It was like 4 hours. And my elves decided they were going to be funny. And they wanted to do dialysis. Pretend. You go to the House of the Mouse.
Right.
did?
Have you been to
Mouse.
Disneyland?
Mickey Mouse is how.
Have you been to Great Wolf Lodge?
Yeah.
Have you been to Six Flags?
Yeah.
Have we been to Schlitterbahn this past summer?
Mama,
Did we go to Schlitterbahn for your birthday?
I do like your hair.
Have we done all that while mommy was still doing? Have we done all that while mommy was still doing dialysis?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the benefit to it is you can travel. Like, you go do stuff, like, live your life. There's been times where, so we have, like, a lot of annual passes to stuff. So it was, like, a Friday night, and we're sitting at the house, and it's like, okay, the weather's nice tomorrow. Let's go to, like, San Antonio. We'll go to the amusement park. And it's like, oh, but I have to do the machine. So it's like, okay, well, if we leave now, we'll get there around midnight. I can do the machine, and then it'll just be done. So, like, we've packed up, like, late at night, taken a car trip, and then once we got there, like, we put the kids to sleep in the hotel room. Jason and I are, like, hanging bags, setting up the machine. Like, I think I was up till probably, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, but, like, it was done. It was over with. The next day, we had a happy day.
And we could go to the water park if it was my birthday.
Yes, baby.
So, yeah, she talked a lot about the water park. So,
Slitterbot!
Well, and you've been to the one at Six Flags, right?
I know,
Yes, to
that's
Texas.
my favorite.
one of the questions
Yes, Texas,
that
okay.
people will ask me is, why don't you do PD? Okay. Totally get it. No needles, happy stuff. But the amount of time it takes every single day. Also, the no swimming factor. Like, my kids like to swim. I think I could get by if I couldn't swim again. Like, I'd just go to Jamaica and swim in clean water. That's fine. But, like, I don't want to take that away from my kids. Like, before I got sick, summer water park trips, like, were a huge part of our life. Even when Jason and I were dating, like, one of our first, like, dates, we were like, oh, let's go to Splashtown. It was like, that's just a part of our lifestyle. So, it's kind of like my why do I do HHD. Also, let's just say I had to be on the machine for like 10 hours. Okay, well, you're telling me for me to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, count backwards, I have to be on the machine by whatever time that is. That doesn't always work. Both of my daughters are in Girl Scouts, and my husband plays in a band. Like, I'm also really involved in, like, different industry stuff for my job. So, like, let's just say it was, like, 8 or 9 o'clock. I have to be on the machine. Otherwise, it's, like, the point of no return. You're not going to get up on time for work. I cannot have that kind of a restriction on me. I also like to go out and do stuff. And like, no, it's not going to be feasible for me to sit on the machine all day on Saturday so that I can go out Saturday night. Just, this takes 3 hours, 4 times a week. So, while it is inconvenient and it can be a pain in the ass sometimes, I mean, it's far better than the alternative. Still living, still like going and doing. So now I'm going to go through how you get the needle out of your arm by yourself. Well, kind of by yourself. I have Nursey Lisa here to help me.
Say hi, Lisa.
She's been hanging out a lot. So
Right.
I untape it and I just stick the tape to the blue pad. It's trash anyways. Okay, so you see I have the pillow here. I guess zoom in on it.
Yeah.
See, I have the pillow here, so while it still is taped down, I'll grab on this side and I remove it most of the way. Sometimes, like, see this one, I can get off all the way, so that's cool. Sometimes I can't, and I have to wait till I pull the whole tape. So I unravel this, and this is what I use to hold my site. And then I'm gonna take this one off. Okay, so you see right here, I kind of have like the edge of the butterfly clip. So I'm going to push it back to where I've got it free like that. Then I hold it with this hand and I peel back. This one's being stuck. There we go. So see, now that it's free, I can remove that. Okay. Got my gauze. Make sure I'm pulling the right one. So again, my fistula is in the top, so if you have one of the lower arm ones, it's a little bit easier, but I just kind of like do like a chicken wing like this, right? And then I'm gonna cover this. I use my finger to feel where the needle's coming out, and then
No, Elissa, that has to be open.
yeah, you want to open it up?
That's
Good job. So one of my fingers is on the needle. I can feel it, so I know I'm gonna hold pressure in the right place. Just pull it. And then there's the needle. So this, I could lean over here and I could drop it in the bucket, but okay, what part of the needle do we touch? Only the tip, or only the syringe.
Not that part.
not the sharp part.
Right.
Right.
So do you want to show them how you can safely lower it into the sharps container?
Let me move it.
Okay. There you go.
Nurse Elissa.
All right.
Good job.
If it's too wobbly, I put to the
Yeah, but we never stick our hand in there.
No.
Right. And then
Put it too far, and then right next to, and you do that, then the needle will get in your finger.
And then she's applying pressure at the site.
so usually this takes like
15 minutes.
no, it takes anywhere from like maybe 4 to 15 minutes, just depending on how stubborn my arm wants to be, or if I'm not like sometimes I won't hold in the exact right spot. You got what? Are you gonna tweeze something?
Are you doing mommy's eyebrows?
I know I like them. I like this.
Pinchers.
Yeah, that's in case we have to check mommy's temperature.
Can I do mine?
You're gonna do your temperature? Okay. Nope, you don't just keep holding the button, baby. You have to. It's alright.
Is it showing anything?
It's thinking about it.
You have to wait before you put it on your head. It's okay. Now you put it on your head. Well, sometimes it gets messed up.
Okay, let's do it again.
This is a way to pass time, I guess, while Rachel's holding her sight.
Yep, me and my wissy woo.
I'm, of course, holding the camera right now. Sometimes she has me hold her sight. It all depends. A lot of times she's really independent, but there's times when she has me hold the sights with 2 fingers and put on gloves and do everything. So it just depends.
Yeah, usually if like it's really late at night or like if I don't feel good, I'll be like, Jason, I'll pull the needle. You just hold it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I mean, hopefully for everyone out there, they have a care partner, even if they're trying to do solo. I don't know exactly.
What does it say?
Yeah, it's good to always have somebody in the house at least.
What does it say?
39.9.
35.9 Celsius.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Somehow we reset it and everything.
That's cool. Yeah, we're on the metric system.
We don't even know what happened.
I reset it by accident, I think.
I don't know how. What? What?
That's neat. Can I have a mint now?
Yeah, you can have a mince now.
You want one too?
No, I don't want one.
How many do you have? You have 17 more left.
17?
Not 7. Yeah, what's before 17?
16.
So now you have 16 because I took one.
Let's see. So, it's been a couple of minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and check it. So what I'll do first is I just kind of like let go of it. You see how it's bleeding through? So, it's not done.
She eats these.
Okay.
On the machine.
We have sugar-free mints. Okay.
There's also...
Okay, somehow I got this thing to go back to Fahrenheit.
All right.
And now off.
Mommy,
Good.
could you try to find the blue or the red bag?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
The green ones are the best.
Yeah, I know. To go. I'm just sucking on this like a baby holding it.
Yeah.
Okay, sweetheart.
So yeah, I have sugar-free candies that I'll sit next to the machine because one, they help me not feel so thirsty,
And this one.
which when your fluid is restricted to 2 water bottles a day, it's like,
Is it the mint?
I just like to drink stuff. I have always liked to drink stuff. Like, so the fluid restriction is hard.
Is it the mint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the candies that are next to the bed are sugar-free because I also have type 1 diabetes,
What is the mint?
Well,
which is likely the cause for my kidney failure. So the healthcare system here isn't really that great. And I spent a lot of time like in my early 20s, like just really, really high blood sugars because I couldn't afford insulin. So, you know, Jason and I were in like kind of like a whirlpool of like, okay, well, we've saved up the $150 to go to the doctor's appointment. And just to go there and be like given a prescription, take it to the pharmacy. And they're like, okay, well, that'll be $900. I'm like, for how long? Well, that's a 1-month supply. So, I mean, I spent a lot of years with chronically high blood sugar. I mean, for some reason I didn't die. I don't know. Never went into a diabetic coma. Like, still kicking.
She's still alive.
Yeah,
Not up in heaven.
not up in heaven. So, I mean, and it's difficult because, you know, now that I'm in this life situation, of course, like, I qualify for Medicare because, you know, obviously if you don't have insurance and you're on dialysis, you're gonna die if you can't get treatment. I just feel like there are so many other illnesses that should fall under as well. I mean, like, all you're doing is prolonging a problem. Oh, okay, you have diabetes. Good luck with that. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
well, we also did eventually find generic insulin and stuff from Sam's and things that we could afford, but we weren't that informed about it when we were younger and we were dating and stuff like that. Because, I mean,
And then they got married.
that's how life is. Even after we got married, baby, we had to be married for a while before we realized that we could get...
Show them your tattoos, show them it.
Show them. It's okay.
So yeah, it wasn't until I was actually pregnant with her.
My
And
sister's first. We're supposed to have the same birthday, but no.
no, you have the same came home day.
Yeah.
From the NICU, babe. Yeah.
Yep. This family is no stranger to medical crises. So nope.
Sorry, I left the butterfly.
Yeah. So yeah, I was
Melissa,
pregnant with her in like
Touch it.
2015. And I went to Sam's and this guy was like, hey, you can get this insulin for like $25. I'm like, what? So yeah, that was kind of eye-opening. I mean, now obviously I have really good insurance for my job. So it's not an issue. I mean, I go and I get like a huge bag of insulin.
Oh, and now she's on an insulin pump.
Yeah.
That would have solved a lot of stuff, you know,
right. So
15 years ago.
So for a long time, they thought that I was a type 2. And I mean, I am partially to blame because I would try to eat right, and 2 hours after a meal, I would check my blood sugar, and it would be like normal. It'd be like 150, which is acceptable. So I'd be like, all right. Then I'd go to bed, not eat anything, not drink anything, wake up the next morning, it's over 200. So like as a person, I was just like throwing my hands up in the air because here I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm taking, you know, the medicines that they've given me, and I'm trying to eat better, and it's not doing anything. It wasn't until my kidney already failed, right? And I got a continuous glucose monitor that like we were actually able to see like, okay, your stuff's rising in the middle of the night because like, you know, that's not normal. That's not really common for type 2s. So they did an antibodies test, and like sure enough, here we are. But yeah, I have an insulin pump and a continuous glucose monitor, and the two of them talk to each other. So it's a really cool piece of technology. Had I have had this 10 years ago, 6 years, 7, like any time before my kidneys failed, it would have just made it so much easier to manage. And like, I probably wouldn't be in this situation. Just my silly. It's my Lissy Lou. So.
Okay, but mommy needs to hold steady pressure on her arm.
Mommy's gonna check her arm.
Looks like it might be coming good.
So yeah, looks like we're done trying to bleed. So I'll just blot it one more time to make sure. Yeah, it's pretty good. So hopefully it'll be good. Sometimes it likes to trick me and be like, gotcha! So I pull my Band-Aids out. And like this.
Okay, Alyssa, will you please go over there?
She's fine.
I'm doing silly faces.
Yeah, we know, honey, but they're trying to pay attention to what your mother's trying to say. Please. 3.
All right, I'm gonna have to pull another one. Do you want to be my helper, or you want to go back to your room?
Help.
You want to be a
You
helper?
go over here.
All right. Get in the position.
Come on. You have to...
And then I'm getting on my shoes and leaving.
No, we're gonna wait for a minute before we get on our shoes and leave.
Why?
But not too much longer, baby.
So just like the other one. So this one's kind of like stuck together. But again, you just use like your index finger to kind of hold it down. All right. Then I'm gonna take off my little ribbon.
It takes 15 hours
And
to do the machine. To do the machine.
Definitely not 15 hours.
Maybe per week.
Look at how long.
It takes about 3 hours, honey.
All right,
Takes
so
3 hours actually.
It all depends on someone's prescription,
Okay.
though.
I'm sorry.
So, shh.
Why does it
Stop.
have something?
Stop. Stop. You need me to end up having to go to your room?
so anyways,
Fine.
this is like, this one's always like sometimes tender, because this is where they like, in my elbow ditch right here is where they went in to create my fistula. The surgeon was so sweet. So you see I have an outline of like a half sleeve. When I came out of surgery, I was in like recovery, and he was like, I tried really hard to make sure that like I lined it back up correctly. So I thought that was cool. He cared. All right, so gonna feel for the needle, pull it. Alyssa, you want to throw it away or you want me to? All right. Make sure you got it over the hole. Then you can drop it. and then close the lid.
Then we can close the container.
All right, you want to go put it back over in the corner? And Daddy's go. So yeah, I do have another child around here. She is 12, and she likes to sleep. So she's usually like most helpful, like if I do the treatment in the evening, and like if Jason's not here. So she's really good because her bedroom's next to mine, so I can just like have her leave her door open, and like I can shout at her if I need anything. Like I've had to try and like stick again because I didn't have it in the right spot. I'm like, Emma, give me a needle. She gets it. Like, it's weird. My kids like are not afraid of this stuff. Probably because it's not them. Because I've tried to prick the little one's finger to see if her sugar is high. She does not have diabetes that I know of, but like it's always constantly something that I'm worried about. Because yeah, I don't want her to end up like this. No, it's not fun. So but yeah, so I'm gonna wait for my arm to stop bleeding and probably get on with my Sunday. I would really like to take a nap right now though, but my mom wants to see me, so I'll go do that. But I ain't gonna do much. And like sometimes it's hard to get other people to understand that.
Yeah, we can go to her house and let her cook dinner for us. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Like, I went to a football game with one of my coworkers, and like, so a lot of people's kidneys will fail because they have like high blood pressure. I do not have that problem. Mine is like constantly low, like under 100 low. So I went to a football game with one of my coworkers in like the evening after work, and I just like had to tell him, I was like, look, I'm not saying I'm not gonna go, but like halfway into the stadium, we might need to take like, I need to breathe break. But actually I walked it. I did okay. Like blood pressure didn't drop. Like I was pretty happy with myself.
That was in the preseason, y'all. Then she also went to the home opener with me and other coworkers. So
yeah, that one was like in the like middle of the day. So hot. Like
yeah, but Rachel's been going to the gym and everything, so
yeah, I mean, in the last 4 or 5 weeks, I mean, I went from being somebody who like we would walk into Sam's and I'd be like, I'm not feeling it, I'm just gonna ride the shopping cart.
Yeah, she would get in the riding shopping cart is what she means.
Yeah, to where like now I just go. I mean, there are times where I won't feel that great. Like I went to the gym Friday night and I just don't feel like I put my best effort forth. But I mean, at the same time, I don't think my head was in it. Friday was really hard at work. So it's not how...
And she started doing a regimen called Couch to 5K.
Yeah, so I was on Facebook and I saw that like they do Run Disney, which I'm super into. And they have like a 5K. So like they happen to have one on my birthday, but that one's all booked up. So I was like, okay, well, you know, if I'm gonna do it, I want to like be able to do it well. I don't like doing stuff bad. I don't like not being good at things. So I've been trying to do like the Couch to 5K. I've done like my first week of it. And it's kind of hard for me to like keep up with the pace that they're expecting, but I've talked to a bunch of like different friends of mine who are like real supportive, and they're like, it doesn't matter how fast you finish it. The goal is to finish it. So like I have a couple of people who are like really, really supportive, and like they motivate me, they encourage me. Like it's a pretty good support system. I mean, most of it is through text messages. I don't see them like every day, but like I'll talk to them several times a week. So it's good to have people. Other than that, I have Jason. Jason's my person. Like, and like as far as going forward and like trying to,
like her lobster or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. They hold hands forever. You are my lobster. So he and I, as well as our 2 daughters, we all have A positive blood because we're A+ people. But it's just not feasible like for him to give me a kidney because like I have to have somebody take care of me. Like, my mom works a full-time job. I don't have that many good friends. Like, you know, I mean, I have, like I said, I have supportive people, but I don't think I have anybody who would, like...
We have people that would rotate with me to watch her and help when she gets a transplant, but we don't have people to help watch both of us if I gave her one of my kidneys.
Yeah.
We don't have
like,
a support network that large.
They basically told us when we were down there, they're like, well,
Right.
you're going to need 3 people. You need one for him, one for you, and another one for your kids.
Right. And also, whenever she was an original transplant list at Memorial Hermann. Sorry, I was about to say a different medical group. But at Memorial Hermann, they did some testing and they said that
for whatever reason, our bloods don't like each other.
They said that because we already have 2 children together and all sorts of stuff, that our blood types were not going to match properly, and it was going to be a high probability of rejection.
So essentially, my blood knows what his looks like because I've been pregnant a few times. And it's like, nah, we've seen this before. No. So.
I don't know. That was then, though.
It is what it is. And I mean, I also feel like there's a big push to encourage living donation, but that's like from the medical team to the donor or to the recipient. You know, find yourself a living donor, you know, ask anybody. You never know who will say yes. Like, they're very positive in that light, but once you get a living donor to go through that process, the tone quickly changes because, like, Jason went through it and they were like asking weird questions about, like, our marriage, about our finances.
Oh, they ask,
like,
well, yeah, they want to go into a dark place of what happens if everything goes errant and then you give up your kidney to her and then her body rejects the kidney and you feel like it was pointless for you to give up your kidney, and where are you going to be at? And also, you're going to be at a 60% or more risk of getting on dialysis later in life yourself for giving up one of your kidneys. So they pretty much tell you,
we're not saying
that
do
you
it,
shouldn't
but, like,
do it the whole time.
Yeah.
And they want to psychoanalyze everything. It's kind of weird with the psychoanalyzation because everybody in this world has things they go through. And Rachel and I have been through enough life events that we've painted silver linings around cloudy, gray clouds like so many times. It's like, it's ridiculous for somebody to try to even question our tenacity and our thoroughness and our love for each other and all this different stuff. And when you go through that process, they start trying to do that. It's like weird.
Yeah, so I mentioned that both my daughters have the same come home date. So Emma was born end of February, right? And she was only 2 pounds when she was born. I was like 25 weeks pregnant. So like she was like the size of my hand. Tiny. I didn't know any better. Jason didn't know any better. We're like, yeah, it's a baby. It's supposed to be small, right? No. She spent 3 months in the NICU. Like, solid. She had to go on all kinds of breathing machines, everything. And she's 12.
She had a microscopic heart surgery?
Yeah, she did. She had to, after like 3 days, she had to have like an artery in her heart closed because she was so early. So she came home June 1st. Alyssa was born at the beginning of May, 6 years later. And again, I mean, like,
2016.
she was 35 weeks. So, I mean, she had much more time than Emma did, but they still wanted to keep her for like another month. So, like, Alyssa came home June 1st too. So that's like our family, like, you came home day. Because I thought it was cool that both of them came home like the same day, just like several years apart. But like, yeah, that's some of the stuff that like we've been through, to where it's just like, this life will be all right. Like, yeah, my kid's in the hospital, but I still have to go back to work. And I have, when I had Alyssa, it's like, okay, well, I have Emma. I have another kid that I have to take care of. Like, I missed the school bus trying to get home from the medical center.
We've been through hurricane, flood.
When I was pregnant with Alyssa, like 2 weeks before I had her, it flooded.
It flooded. We had to get rescued by firefighters at the house we lived at the time. And in the more present tense, We had to go through the Houston freeze while Rachel's been on dialysis. Since she's been on dialysis when it froze, like 2 winters ago.
So yeah, I mean, it's just
That was like
but again, like,
we were on the Snowpiercer, y'all.
we just keep moving. Like, I don't know. I always tell myself, I'm like, well, still have both of your arms, still have both of your legs. Like, it could be worse. But, like, I have a friend who just got amputated and, like, he's killing it. Like, well, I guess it's all, like, how you think about it. Like, you know, his, like, hashtag is, like, faith over fear. So, all right.
How's your arm doing?
You see, it's not bleeding through the gauze, which is a good indicator that we're done bleeding. So you want to make sure that you kind of take it off. Like, I try to keep it close because if you just rip it, you're going to pull the clot.
Don't have it spring at the camera, y'all.
Right? So that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So then I'll put this one over it. And then I'll just kind of put it tight so there's a little tension. Sometimes if it still wants to bleed, I'll go back with like the plastic tape because you can get a little bit more pressure using that. And I'll tape it down, but my hands itch. But yes, this is getting off the machine. And now I'm gonna throw away all my trash on here and go about my Sunday.
Yeah, I already broke down the cycler.
Yeah, so in the bottom half of it's draining. When that's done, Jason will probably make another sack so that we're ready for tomorrow. And the train will keep on a-rolling.
Raining, we'll flush it in a few minutes and all that. If it's even heavy, I'll still try to take it out so we can be done with it and make another sack. We'll move on to the next treatment the next day.
Yeah, because it's always best to do that. Like, it's always best to set your machine up for the next treatment after the one you just did. Because, like, I'll set it before I go to work and then I'll get compromised sack or the power will go out. So, like, sometimes Emma comes home from school around 3. She's like, Mom, your machine's beeping. So she'll FaceTime me and I can see the alert. I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do to clear it. So, I mean, it's very much so like a group effort. Everybody kind of helps. And, like, my kids have an understanding of, like, if it's beeping, call your mom because we need to fix it. So,
Okay. Well,
anyways.
Rachel Ramon says, Gabba Gabba, hey, we are done for the day. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Hey, guys. We are going to show you where we store our dialysis-related supplies. We got hanging bags, cartridges, sacks, shipping supplies, stuff like that. Let me get these Halloween lights out of the way real quick. So anyway, we got a delivery the other day and we weren't here, so they just dropped everything on our porch. So sometimes if you're not available, like I used to think that we had to be there right on the spot when they would make deliveries, but we've gotten to where they'll just drop most of the stuff on our porch and we'll just put it in our garage and organize it later. So anyway, they dropped off some sacks. They dropped off cartridges, and Rachel also has her Metro Medical supplies. This is gauze, needles, depending on what they happen to order for us. It could be gloves in here, etc. So anyway, I'm moving a couple boxes of sacks over to the garage. And here's where all of our stuff is. Big square boxes are hanging bags. The shorter rectangular boxes are sacks. The other rectangular boxes there, those are cartridges.
She's fun.
There's Alyssa. She wants to be in the
This is
video.
Alyssa's playroom.
Yeah. There's your play table.
And also, this is where I find my Legos.
Your Legos, yeah. Then I have 2 boxes of shipping supplies over here from when we have to send off labs. Okay. We have that. Some of the hanging bags are loose like this because the boxes got wet before, so. And honestly, sometimes they're easier to carry if you actually have to use them at home without them being in a box. And we also have a box of saline right here, box of saline right there. So it's not exactly the most organized configuration ever, but I mean, there's times when it's more organized than this. But we'll take the sacks that are already here and I will rotate them to being in the same stack together so that I can know. My stack one right here is older, needs to be used first, and the new ones that came are gonna go in the secondary stack right here. All right, baby.
You want to help carry mommy's stuff from the front porch? Show that you're a helper? No, by the front door, Alyssa. I'll follow you over by the front door. Get one of the boxes that's up next to, not that one. Those ones you could probably carry. You got it?
I can carry the white one.
Okay, go take that one first.
Where?
Daddy will tell you where.
Where do I take it?
Wow.
You want to put it right there on the end.
Cartridges?
You want to match it to the same sized box.
Like Lego.
So put it right there.
There we go. How many boxes of cartridges are over there?
I think 3.
Okay, we're gonna put this older one on top.
It's my team. They help me.